Hi all, we are up to How to Paint Space Marines, issue number 16 of Combat Patrol, and I'm carrying on with my Emperor's Sons. And part of what I'm doing with my Emperor's Sons now is adding Mephiston Red. Now, where this actually goes on the Space Marines varies on whether or not you're following kind of the painting guides in the issue 16. So let me show you how I'm going to apply it and then we'll go from there. So I've already kind of put on the here on these red cabling on this side, and I'm just going to kind of update this one over here. Oh, I've got far too much on my brush there, that's not good. And basically I'm doing this main cabling on this librarian. Now, just be careful as you go around. Don't do what I just did, which is get paint in the wrong place. Just kind of running it along that cabling, like so. Now, other places that we want to do this is on the axe. Really make sure that you get into the recesses of the axe as well, otherwise you'll get a strange, unusual pattern. Like so, you can see how it's kind of coming along there. And basically just pick up anywhere that the axe haft is. Try and get yourself between the fingers very carefully, which will require a bit of patience and a bit of control. Okay, and there's also like little other pieces of cabling that you just need to try and pick out, like here. Which really what we need at this point is a brush that's smaller than the ones that we've been given with Combat Patrol, but we don't have really fine detail brushes yet. And as you know, I've decided to use some cheap brushes that I've picked up, but although there are some thin brushes in this pack that I got, unfortunately I find that they split easily, so I have to kind of use a mid-range one because they stay sharper. And it's actually better to use a larger brush that stays sharp than a smaller brush that frays when doing fine details. Okay, so you've got your key areas on the library and you've got to pick out, which is mainly cabling and that leather work there. Now, this is going to be fun, because what we need to do as well is we need to do a sergeant stripe. Now, on Codex chapters, a sergeant stripe, as a rule, well, sergeants normally have a fully red helmet. So if you're doing Ultramarines, you want the whole helmet to be red. However, I want to keep the split scheme on my guy, and I don't want to do a full red helmet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a red stripe down. Now I'm going to use the kind of the apex of the helmet as a guide. Now I'm going to run that behind, up and along, which isn't exactly easy. Okay. So I've got that kind of core point there. And then, now this is the part that's going to be a pain. Because I don't just want it there, because it's just going to look like he's got a punk haircut, which is not what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to use that apex to help guide me down the rest of the model. Hopefully you can see what I'm getting done there. This way they're kind of following codex, as in they've got that red on the sergeant without me losing the colour scheme that I want to keep. See, a full change in helmet colour works if you've got one solid colour as the armour, but when you've got a split scheme, I've personally found that then throwing a completely different coloured helmet into the mix, it personally just distracting, in my opinion. So there we go. What we've actually got there is now we've got his sergeant stripe effectively running down the centre of the helmet, which, you know, works for me. Okay, that's simple as now we got the cloak to do. So I'm going to find a bigger brush to do this. Still thin my paint out as always. And now we've got to do his cloak. Again, the red works well for the ultramarines, because with that blue it kind of really stands out. And because I've got a purple and bone coloured armour, having something like red works against both colours to create what I think is a nice approach, nice appearance. I was actually tempted on this cloak to flip the colour scheme and actually have purple on one side and bone on the other, but I wanted to kind of have a colour that wasn't either of them to play against, so this works. There's actually holes in this cloak. If you have a look at them, can you see? I'm actually letting my brush not get paint into them, so that then they do actually look like they're worn material. You know, just keep going. There's a good chance that I'm going to need to put a second layer, because although it's gone on quite well, it still looks slightly streaky in places. Oh gosh, I'm being clumsy and careless there for hit the wrong place. Okay, now there we go. You can see that it's a good chance, particularly if you aren't working with an undercoat, you are likely to need a second coat on that one. I've also got little bits like here to do. Can you see on the sword? The strap work on the sword there. Let's get that done as well. Right. Okay, and there we go. That's what we're up to so far, really. There's pretty much all of, those core areas are all, I'll remember now. All kind of nicely done there. I think, just making sure that I haven't missed anything there. So difficult just double checking that I haven't kind of missed anything while oh yeah, actually I've just realised there's technically a little gemstone. I was just looking then. That there is a tiny little gemstone on his crux terminus. Again, trying to do this without my insanely fine detailed brushes isn't exactly easy. Okay. Right, we are looking good, I think. Oh, do you know what I'm going to do as well? Because I've just remembered, because I gave this guy a bionic eye, didn't I? Do that there. Okay. Now, if you're doing ultramarines, the other thing that you're going to have to do is the eye lenses are going to be painted red. However, red eye lenses aren't going to work on my Emperor's Sons because they're not really going to work well against the purple. So I'm leaving my eye lenses for now, and I'm likely to have to do them, I think, when I get a green, basically. So when we get a green with the combat patrol, I'm going to use it then to do the actual eye lenses. But for now, that's how we use Mephiston Red on the Emperor's Sons. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.